إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير حد محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر أمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. كيف حالكم جميعا يا أيها الإخوة والأخوات. We are proud to present the relaunching of our Maahad Ibn Taymiyyah online learning institution. Alhamdulillah, in this video we're going to explain the objectives behind the learning institution, the importance of seeking the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is the highest knowledge that you can actually have. In terms of, also we're going to deal with a little bit of the issue of the pandemic and some of the things that the people use to remove the pandemic or to remove what we find ourselves in, and how knowledge plays a direct role in that. There is no doubt that the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said that إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِتَعَلُّمٍ, that knowledge is acquired through learning. That knowledge is acquired through learning. So learning is a fundamental tool in accessing or obtaining knowledge. But then there are prerequisites for a person to learn, and there are things that a person needs to have to learn. So why is we talking about this in terms of the Maahad institution? The Maahad Ibn Taymiyyah, for those who don't know, we wasn't just a Mektaba Ibn Taymiyyah that was on a Facebook. Maahad Ibn Taymiyyah was actually developed back in, I believe, in 2011 when we first started. We actually had online, and we had a physical location where you actually learned. We had students who enter into our course. Our course modeled behind an Islamic institute that you can be found in Mecca or Madeenah, which is like a Qura or even like a Madeenah University, because we set it up patterning over the traditional way of learning based off the advice of our ulama and how to learn. And one of the things that we saw here in the West is that amongst us and even our peers, we had classes in the masajids, we had different things, but we didn't have a structured unit that was parallel or even mimicking the way that the institutions overseas is actually teaching knowledge that a person can get to tadarruj, can excel. So we came up with a program with the Maahad with the intention and the objectives behind it to be able to teach in a Islamic traditional way, which is based off of two pillars, what we call retention and repetition. And this is how the earlier scholars learned. From amongst them is Imam Bukhari and the likes of them. You will see that they learned the way that they begin to study knowledge is through these two methods. It's repetition and retention. And it all goes in line with what the Prophet ﷺ said. إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ, that knowledge is only acquired through learning. And the ulama, they used to say that you will not find la raha, just the body will not find rest, will not find that tranquility why it is engaging to seek knowledge. Seeking knowledge and comfortability and so forth is not the way that you're going to get knowledge. It's going to be some hard roads, it's going to be some hard challenges, but yet you're going to get it. And knowledge is something that is a mandatory thing, individual obligation, especially when it comes about knowing about the five pillars and knowing about your deen and knowing about Allah Azza wa Jal. So imagine having the opportunity to learn Islam, right? And properly study the text and study the books of the ulama and the older books, and also memorize the Quran. Be proficient in the Arabic as well as learn some mutun. Imagine having that opportunity. and a setting that's online for most people that can get it. Even teenagers can actually use it because it's like a high school type of program. All right? The courses that are offered at the Maahad, okay? The courses that are offered at the Maahad is the first course that we have is known as SOCAP, the acronym, which is the Student of Knowledge Apprenticeship Program. Now, this program is initially a 2-year program. It resembles sort of how what you will see what they call the Maahad, and then you have what we call the Kulliyah. Now, in Madeenah, you go through a Maahad. The Maahad is the 2-year period that you will go to learn the Arabic language, all right, and other little things that you will learn in between before you enter into one of the Kulliyahs or the college. So we have a Student of Knowledge Apprenticeship Program where roughly about 2 years, you're going to learn the following, all right? You're going to learn proficiency in Arabic. You're going to learn about 8 ejazas if you complete the 2 years. So 4 ejazas, 4 juz of the Quran you will memorize per year. It's a requirement in the school. You're going to memorize 4. In the Kulliyah to Hadith, they were actually saying that in Madeenah you had to memorize 8 before you graduate. 8 or 9 ejazas before you graduate. All right? The way that we have it module or set up is that you're going to memorize 4 ejazas. All right? Tayyib. And you're going to be proficient in the Arabic language. You will know how to translate. And you're going to learn some mutun. All right? And the mutun, which is the plural for the word metin, is going to be based off the statement of Imam Nawawi, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, that the beginning student should memorize a mukhtasar, a summarized text for each fin, each science in the Islamic sciences, which would give the student a foundation to whereby he or she can build upon. Do you understand? So one of the objectives, and Abdul Rahman al-Sa'di, Sheikh Taymiyyah narrated, Sheikh Taymiyyah related on behalf of Abdul Rahman al-Sa'di, who was his teacher, he narrated that he also will have his students follow this same method or program in terms of memorizing a small text in each science. So they will learn something in Mustalah, all right? Learn something in dealing with the hadith terminologies. They will learn something in Usul al-Fiqh, memorize a text that deal with that. They will learn something in Fiqh, memorize a text that deal with that. They will learn something in Tafsir, memorize a text that deal with that. They will learn something from Quran. They will learn something from Hadith. So in each science, and they will learn something from the Lughah al-Arabiyyah. Each science, they were able to have a small text. Now, if you can accomplish this, you will be strong. I'm just saying reality, you will be strong. Now, memorization is only a first stage. It's not the thing, but just like Sheikh Salih Fawzan said, Hafidhullah, al-ilm biduni hifdhin la yabqa. Knowledge without memorization do not remain. It doesn't stay with you. But we add to the statement of Sheikh Fawzan by saying that, and hifd biduni fahmin la fa'ida. And we say that memorization without true proper comprehension does not benefit a person. So our objective is not just to get you to memorize these things and you run around like a parrot and you don't understand what you're saying, but our objective is to hope to get you the necessary tools so that you can begin to start understanding what you memorize. All right? We will teach you memorizational skills. We're sort of like a memorizational coach. And one of the best tools that we're going to use with you memorizing the Book of Allah, as Sheikh Muqbil, he mentioned that the beginning student should never leave off 2 things. He should be concentrated with 2 things. And those 2 things is, they go hand in hand. That's the Lughah al-Arabiyyah and that's the Quran. Quran wa Lughah al-Arabiyyah. These are the 2 things that should be in relation. All right? So the SOCAP program, as we said, you see, the strong points is that an individual is going to learn the proficiency in Arabic. He's going to learn to memorize the Quran. And it's broken down into intervals. So it will be semesters. Now the semesters is surrounded around the Hijri calendar. You will go by the Islamic days, names of the days, and you will go by the Islamic calendar. So for those, as we said, we'll show you how to sign up, what's the courses. But right now we're just giving you an introduction of what this Maahad actually consists of. All right, so moving on, after the 2-year SOCAP program, there is another program that's designed, which is the Arabic course, the Lughah al-Arabiyyah. All right. Now, it's not like a Maahad. It's just for those people who want to learn the Arabic language. All right. And if they want to learn the Arabic language, they would take a course that is designed to teach them to become proficient in the Arabic language. All right. Learning the 4 tools as far as the reading, the writing, all right, the listening, and the talking. This course will be designed for those people who wants to learn it. All right. Then there's another course that's offered here at the Maahad is the Imam Bukhari's Hadith course. The Imam Bukhari's course is a Hadith course, but the prerequisite for that course, the student must be proficient in the Arabic language in order to even enter this course. Sort of like how we said before, when you do the Maahad in Madeenah, you're going to do the Maahad first before you go into the Kulliyah. All right, so you can't even enter the Hadith college without having Arabic. So the same thing, you can't enter the Imam Bukhari's course because all the material is going to be in Arabic. So you want to make sure you already have a grasp on Arabic in order to enter the course, because all of the material will be in Arabic. All right, the person will learn the Hadith, and they will learn a traditional style of way of the Hadith. Okay, they will learn and memorize and understand between the science and between some of the major books and component books that they will place in there. All right, I'm not going to give you the syllabus now, because that's for those who actually enroll and enlist into the actual courses. Another course that is offered is known as the Imam al-Qurtubi's course. Now, Imam Qurtubi course, as you know, Imam Qurtubi, for those who know, is a mufassir. All right, now Imam al-Qurtubi, since he's a mufassir, you should already imagine what this course is going to be designed around. This course is a Quranic course. All right, and the prerequisite for it is that a person has to have 15 ajazas of the Quran already memorized. In order to enter this course, you already have to have half of the Quran memorized. In the Kulliyah in Madeenah, you have to have the whole Quran to enter into the Kulliyah to Quran. And before they enter into the Quranic college, you have to have the whole entire Quran memorized. But if you want to enter the Imam Qurtubi course, you're going to have 15 ajazas already memorized, right? So that's going to teach you everything that you need to know about usul fi tafsir, what you need to know about asbab al-nuzul, dealing with all of those different things. And it's also going to teach you the different qira'ats as well, by the permission of Allah Jalla wa Ala, dealing with Quran. Also, we have the Ahmed ibn Hanbal course. Now, the Ahmed ibn Hanbal course, as you know, is an Aqidah course. So it's going to strengthen you in i'tiqad. All right, like our resident scholar that we have, Dr. Tahir Wyatt, he got his PhD in i'tiqad, in belief. He got it in Aqidah. All right, and many people who actually go overseas, they're either going to get their PhD or either in any one of the science. He got his in the Aqidah science. So the Ahmed ibn Hanbal is an intensive Aqidah course that's going to deal with those things. You're going to learn about some of the opposing views of the different deviant sects, where they went wrong, and you will study some of those texts and get familiar with that. All right. The prerequisite more so for that is you have to be proficient in Arabic anyway, because the material is going to be in Arabic. The material is going to be in Arabic. And then you have what we call the Imam Shafi'i course. For those who know that Imam Shafi'i was the first one to coin or put together a usul fiqh, or a fiqh jurisprudence actual book, all right, that dealt with fiqh and put it together in one subject matter. All right. So this course is dedicated to that. It's dedicated to two parts, usul fiqh, and it's dedicated to what we call fiqh. So both of those parts is going to be taught. And again, the prerequisite is that you have to be proficient in Arabic, because all of the material will be in Arabic. And then last but not least, we have what we call a calligraphy course, all right, at the Maahad. And you have to be proficient in Arabic as well. And you will learn how to write with calligraphy. Right now, the course that we will be taking, enlisting people to sign up for, is the first course, because all of the other courses, if you don't have a proficiency in any of the language, you're not strong in some of the things that you need, then you need to go stop at the first course, which we're going to offer, and that is the SOCAP course. It's a 2-year course, and it's designed and set up just like a regular college that you're going to go to. The time is now. Alam ya'ni lilladina amanu. As Allah says, there's not the time for the believers to come what? That they antaksha qulubuhum, that their heart fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they tremble, that they learn the Quran, that they learn what they need to learn. The time now is what? The time now, by the permission of Allah Jalla wa Ala, the time is now is to begin to learn. There's no more excuses now that we can point our fingers at so-and-so and this institution or this masjid. You have Islam at your fingertips. And the difference between the Western way of learning and the Islamic way of learning is that the Western way of learning, their purpose and behind is for that you can have a career-oriented goal. All right? But in the deen, it's not for that. It's not for a career-oriented goal when you come to learn. Knowledge in the deen, the type of knowledge we're talking about, knowledge of ilm Allah, ilm al-sharia, that knowledge is ibadah. That type of knowledge is worship. And depending on what type of knowledge it is, it becomes fall under what we call obligation individually or a communal obligation. When it comes to the 5 pillars, when it comes to the 6 articles, when it comes to the levels of the levels of Islam, which is Islam, Iman, and Ihsan, these things become an individual obligation for you to learn. And you want to know about your Lord, as Imam Bukhari says, what? Al-ilmu qabla qawli wal amal. He said that knowledge precedes speech and actions. Knowledge precedes speech and actions. Meaning that a person, as Sheikh Salih Fawzan said, what? That a person should base himself, bayyinat ala ilm, mubayyinat, that he should be based upon knowledge. And he used as a way of the evidence for this statement, or this chapter heading in his Sahih, is the statement of Allah, فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ al-ayah. Fi Surah to Muhammad, verse 19, Allah Jalla wa Ala, he says, so know, O Muhammad, none has the right to be worshipped except Allah. The point of reference, the wajh istidlal, the point of reference in this verse to use the proof that knowledge precedes speech and actions is the statement of Allah, fa'alam. It becomes a command. So know. Here, Allah Jalla wa Ala is commanding the Prophet ﷺ to have knowledge first before he can even do an action. The action was, and to seek forgiveness from your Lord. That's what the action was. Seek forgiveness from your Lord. All right, so the objective, we covered that, is to what? Learn, all right, to learn traditionally in an Islamic setting through 2 methods, repetition and retention. Repetition, this is what you do with the Quran. One of the beautiful things about memorizing Quran that many of the Salaf have said in the past, and that is make everything else easy to memorize. Everything else easy to learn. So if you want to learn hadith, be strong in Quran. If you want to learn fiqh, be strong in Quran. If you want to learn lugha, be strong in Quran. If you want to learn mustalah, be strong in Quran. Any science you want to learn in Islam, you're going to be strong by the method of being strong in the Quran. So that's why we say repetition. One of the things that you have to do is what we call la but muraji'ah, that you have to constantly review, and that is repetition. The Prophet ﷺ says that what? The person should lock down the Quran because it would escape from them like an arrow escape from the bow. You know, the arrow escape from the bow. Or, so you have to make sure you lock it down. How do you lock it down? By beginning to constantly repeat it. How do you retain it? Through repetition. So this is the traditional style of way that the objective. Now, we said we was going to talk about some of the pandemic. There are many people when stuff like this happen, like we see right now, you have the Pope is calling for people to fast so that God can uplift the pandemic. In Islam, there are, like we said before, we mentioned the statement of many of the scholars of the past, and they were talking about, like Ibn al-Hajj was saying, that the people during this time in Egypt, when the plague had took place, they were talking about getting together and doing a fasting in unison, and they were thinking that was going to help them remove the actual plague. But he was saying that no, it's nothing legislated for that. Now, you can do acts of worship to get closer to Allah. No one is not saying that. But to institute something that is not actually done in the deen require knowledge, because if you don't have the necessary knowledge, you're going to do that. So the reason why we're saying learning right now plays a significant role in having Allah Jalla wa Ala place His mercy upon us. And a lot of times when we realize we are deficient, we have to start being honest with ourselves. We are deficient when it comes to our deen. We have allowed others to become above us. The days of personality chasing have to stop. That only happens because you don't have knowledge. And when you don't arm yourself with the necessary knowledge, then you find yourself personality chasing. That's what happens. And the proof in the pudding of that is what Sheikh Falah said when he explained how the people are going to be following the Dajjal. How people are going to be following the Dajjal, because the aql is going to be naqas. The aql is going to be naqas. Once the aql is naqas, once they're kind of foolish, and once they're bewildered, they're going to follow the Dajjal. When you have people saying, okay, oh, brother so-and-so know Arabic, or brother so-and-so know this, or brother so-and-so know that, and you don't know, at the end of the day, you're just following personalities. That's what you're doing. But instead, you have been obligated by the book and the sunnah to learn yourself. And the time that we must be learning Muslims should already have a well understanding of their book, a well understanding of the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is something that we must have. Now, when an opportunity like this presents itself, you should try to make this attempt of not being deficient. There are a lot of us, we weren't good academically in school. We weren't good in the way of etiquettes of seeking knowledge or how to learn or things like that. We weren't good with memorization. We weren't good with this. Well, this program that we have designed is going to help you with all of that. And there are two things that's going to help you, period, outside of the teacher, outside of the program, outside of any institution. Those two things Islam harpers on, and it drives on, and it feeds on. And this is what ibadah is based upon. Those two things is going to be your niyyah. Your niyyah is essential to your acquiring the necessary knowledge you need. The consistency, the dedication, the devotion is still going to be based on your pure niyyah. If you have a pure niyyah, an intention to enter into the arena of learning about Allah, His Messenger, for the sake of getting closer to Allah, to worship Allah correctly, to worship Allah soundly, and to do that which He like and please, then your intentions must be pure. Allah Jalla wa Ala tells Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Ala lillahi deenul khalis." It's not the deen of Allah khalis. It's not the deen of Allah. Fi Surah Zumar is khalis, meaning, in other words, it must be sincerely done for His sake. And then the second thing that's going to help you, and it's a must, is sincerity. All right? You might say niyyah and sincerity is the same thing. No, it's not. It's sincerity. Where do you get your consistency at? Where do you get your dedication at? Where do you get your discipline at? Where do you get your stamina at? Your gas that make you don't want to quit, that make you don't want to leave, that make you stay up and continue is going to be your ikhlas, your sincerity. Do you understand? So if you don't have sincerity and you don't have a pure intention, you're going to be deficient in your deen. And that's just why we are deficient. You ever see why we got gaps in our deen? We don't learn in a systematic way. All of us have gaps. Here and there, I may have went over that issue. I might have went over this issue. I'm a little fuzzy in this issue. I might went here. My Quran is like this. You know, I might have some hadith like this. And that should not be something any one of us should be proud of. We should learn in a systematic way that is structured, so that we can learn how to get closer to Allah. And you learn that with the tariqah of su'al wal jawab, with Jibril alayhi salam, and the manner and the way that he questioned the Prophet ﷺ and how he placed it in a organized manner. He asked him about Islam, and then he asked him about Iman, and then he asked him about Ihsan, and then he asked him about the hour. Look how he laid down each one so that you can understand the order. What are you supposed to be learning? So the SOCAP course is going to help us, inshallah ta'ala. We will be running this course. It will be an online learning institution. By the way, Maahad ibn Taymiyyah is a legitimate non-profit also. For those who don't know, we can actually show you our 501c number. Okay, we have our tax exemption. We are a non-profit. What's the name? This school has been around since 2011. We're going to revamp it and relaunch it by the permission of Allah and repackage. All right. Now, like I said, if for those who are serious, you can inbox me. Please inbox me your email address, and please inbox me your email address along with your name, and let me know that you are serious. We are taking all sign-ups before the first year of the Hijri calendar. So we will not be starting the school until the first year of the Hijri calendar. For those who don't know, the first year of the Hijri calendar is at the last of Dhul Hijjah. All right, that's probably about another roughly 3 more months from now. All right, so we're going to go by the Hijri calendar. It's an Islamic school, so it's going to do everything Islamically. You're going to learn the Islamic names of the months. You're going to learn the Islamic names of the days. You're going to learn the Islamic names of the months and the days, and how to do the year in the Islamic month and days. These are the things you're going to learn. We're bringing Madeenah or Qura here to the west. All right. Also, we have some treats for some of our residential scholars. We're going to have it set up that for the people who are doing good in these programs, inshallah ta'ala, they can read over some of these residential brothers with knowledge so that they can actually check these individuals as far as their reading. All right. Now, all you have to do is inbox me. Let me know that you're interested. And everything else. This is not a government funded program. So I'm not shy or ashamed to tell you that it will be a paid program. But it's a program that it beats us, because instead of you saying, okay, I'm going to pay to go to college to get a trade, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm going to pay to go to college to get a career, which is nothing wrong with that. You should also understand that paying to get a base knowledge to worship your Lord correctly so that you can die upon the sound way and that you can enter the gates of eternity, of bliss and perpetual bliss, and that Allah can be pleased with you. If the people are studying, then that means the people understand how to make istighfar. If the people are studying and the people are learning the law's deen, that means the people know how to properly offer dua. If the people are studying and learning the deen, that means the people properly know how to make prayer. They properly know and these are the prerequisites, and some are for du'as to be answered. And Allah Jalla wa Ala can see the people turning back to Him. This is a way of making a transformation in Tawbah. And whatever we are faced with can be removed, and it can be lifted by Allahu Jalla wa Ala. So, inshallah ta'ala, like I said, for those who want to know, I will post up the link to the actual course, not the syllabus. That's what I didn't read everything to you, but I would post up the Maahad thing. We do have a student application. We also have a membership application, and we also have rules and guidelines to the actual school. What is done, we provide all of our own material. So the material that we will provide will be, whereas though the student, once the student entered the program and stuff like that, the student will be provided with, so some of the material would be paid, need to be paid for, and some of the material would not. Some material will be provided to you for free. There will be live classes as well as recorded classes. There will be follow-up exams. The exams will be crucial, and remember, this program hit the SOCAP program. It's the only program we're offering right now. And the SOCAP program is going to give you 3 distinguishing qualities. You will get proficiency in Arabic, and you will get Quran under your belt, 4 ijazahs. And when I say memorizing Quran, you're going to learn some proper tajweed as well. So don't think that you're not going to learn how to properly recite the Quran. You will learn that as well. And you're also going to get some mutun from the different sciences of Islam under your belt by the permission of Allah Jalla wa Ala. Whatever we said that was incorrect in our presenting or our presentation is from ourselves and the shaitan. Whatever says correct is from Allah Jalla wa Ala. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section or inbox me, and I will be more than happy to fill you in on the details. But please, if you want to sign up, please leave me your email and your name so I can know exactly and send you whatever else details that you're going to need. We're starting on the first of the Islamic calendar, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallahu khairan.